The city of New York woke up to the hum of life. Traffic, footsteps, voices, and the occasional siren. Inside the grand walls of the Empire Lux Hotel, Michael Harris had already been hard at work for hours. He scrubbed marble floors, polished bathroom fixtures, and straightened bedsheets so perfectly they could have graced the pages of a magazine. At just 22 years old, Michael carried a quiet weight on his shoulders. After losing his parents 3 years ago, he had become the sole caretaker for his younger siblings, Jamal and Denise. Every day, Michael worked double shifts to ensure there was food on the table and a roof over their heads. As he cleaned one of the largest suites on the penthouse floor, he hummed softly to himself, a habit that kept him going. The room had an air of luxury that felt worlds away from his small apartment in the Bronx. Plush carpets, golden lamps, and breathtaking views of Manhattan. Yet, Michael never lingered. He always kept moving, always focused. "Let's get this done," he muttered with determination as he bent to clean under the sofa. That's when he spotted something. A gleaming gold watch. It wasn't just any watch. It looked custom-made, engraved on the back with the initials DJT. Michael knew that meant Donald Trump, one of the hotel's most important guests. For a moment, Michael froze. His own watch, a hand-me-down from his father, had a cracked face and a worn strap. He didn't need much to know this gold timepiece could probably pay his rent for a year. But Michael shook his head. "Nah," he whispered. He carefully picked up the watch and wiped off the dust. Minutes later, he placed it at the hotel's lost-and-found desk. Michael didn't think much of his good deed. In his mind, he'd just done what anyone should. But life wasn't always fair, and that became clear when his supervisor, Mr. Wiggins, appeared in the break room later that day. "Michael, in my office." "Now," Wiggins said sharply, his voice carrying an edge that turned heads. Michael followed, unsure of what he'd done wrong. Wiggins was an older man with perfectly slicked back hair and a permanent frown etched into his face. "Do you think you're clever?" Wiggins sneered once the door closed. "That watch belonged to Mr. Trump. And you found it? Or took it?" Michael blinked, stunned.
"What? No, sir.
"I turned it in. Convenient story, isn't it?" Wiggins crossed his arms. "A boy like you working in a penthouse suite? A piece of gold lying around? I know your type." Michael clenched his fists behind his back.
He was used to this.
Used to people making assumptions about him because of his skin color, his background, his job. "I swear, Mr. Wiggins," Michael said quietly, "I didn't steal anything." "Of course you'd say that," Wiggins snapped. "You're lucky I don't fire you right here. Get out of my office. And don't let me hear another word about it." Michael sat in the small staff locker room, his head in his hands. Being accused of something he didn't do wasn't new, but it still stung. Wiggins had made up his mind, and there was no point fighting it. "What did I do wrong?" he whispered to himself. "I did the right thing." Little did he know, things were about to take a turn. Donald Trump arrived at the hotel's front desk later that afternoon, wearing his signature suit and tie. Hotel staff buzzed nervously around him, their voices lowered in deference. "I seem to have lost my watch," Trump said, his tone firm but calm. "It was in my suite earlier." The front desk clerk, flustered, scrambled to explain. Yes, Mr. Trump, it was turned in by one of the staff." "A cleaner?" Trump raised an eyebrow. "A cleaner? Who?" "Michael Harris, sir." Moments later, word reached Wiggins's office. Trump wanted to meet the young man who had returned his watch. Wiggins didn't look happy, but he had no choice. Michael was nervous as he stood in the hotel lobby. When Donald Trump approached, Michael tried not to let his awe show. Trump wasn't just powerful, he seemed larger than life. "You're Michael's?" Trump asked. His voice was direct but not unkind. "Yes, sir," Michael replied. "I'm the one who found your watch." Trump looked at him closely, as if trying to read his character. "I hear there was some doubt about that." Michael glanced down, the accusations still fresh. "I didn't take it, Mr. Trump. I just thought you'd want it back." For a long moment, Trump said nothing. Then he nodded. Not everyone would have done that. He turned to Wiggins, who stood stiffly nearby. "And you accused him of stealing?" "Well, sir, Trump cut him off. I don't tolerate people who make assumptions about others, Wiggins. This young man showed integrity. You should learn from that. Wiggins stammered, but Trump didn't wait for an answer. He turned back to Michael. What's your goal, Michael? You seem like someone who works hard. Michael hesitated. I want to take care of my family, sir. My brother and sister. Maybe make something better for us. Trump smiled slightly. Well, honesty goes a long way, Michael. I think you deserve a chance at something better. Michael's heart skipped a beat. Sirs? I own businesses beyond this hotel, Trump said. I could use someone like you. Someone who knows the value of hard work and integrity. How'd you like to come work for me? For the first time in a long while, Michael was speechless. I'd be honored, sir. Good. Trump shook his hand. Let's get you started. Days later, Michael stood in the lobby of a new building, Trump Tower. He wore a crisp suit, a far cry from his old cleaning uniform. The job Trump had given him wasn't glamorous, but it paid well, and it was a fresh start. Back at home, Jamal and Denise hugged him tightly when he shared the news. Their future felt brighter than ever. Michael couldn't stop thinking about that golden watch, how one small act of honesty had changed everything. He had no idea Donald Trump would notice or care. But that moment taught him a powerful lesson. Integrity always matters, even when no one is watching. And sometimes, when you do the right thing, life has a way of rewarding you when you least expect it. Subscribe to our channel for soul-stirring stories.